All right, what's up you guys? AG here. I know a lot of you have been asking how we film things, what equipment do we use, how do we edit it? So I decided to make this video just to kind of give an overall view of what we use and how we edit and how we get to that final product. So first off, we'll go with the mics. The mics that we've been using for like 2 years have been these DJI mics. It's the Generation 1 ones. They work perfectly, so we haven't needed a reason to really upgrade yet. But they have been coming out with really good ones and smaller ones. So eventually we probably will end up upgrading at some point, but we just haven't needed it. So we've been sticking with these, and then we put the dead cat on here, which is the furry thing right here. It just blocks out the wind. It helps a ton for your audio. One thing that I've learned over 20 years is that audio is way more important than people think. Good audio is equally, if not sometimes, more important than the actual footage. So just make sure that when you are filming that you have really good audio. The main camera that we've been using the last few months is the A6700. We shoot it in 4K, obviously. I shoot it in S-Log3 Cinema. A lot of people aren't able to edit in S-Log, so if you don't, then I would just leave it in like the normal settings, but S-Log helps you color grade a lot easier, and you retain a lot more detail in the shadows and the highlights. So it's just a little bit better quality, but you definitely don't need to shoot that. You definitely don't need to shoot in S-Log Cinema. I shoot in 60 frames per second just because it doesn't go to 30, and 30 would have been perfect in my opinion. But 24 frames per second, it's more cinematic. If you want that cinematic look, 24 frames per second is awesome. However, I'll go into the software that I use and the reason why I choose to shoot in 60 frames per second.
All right, so quick edit. I didn't mention this while I was recording, like I said I would, but the reason why I shoot in 60 frames per second is because in post I can convert it into 30 and it'll look really smooth. And when I do the tracers for Shot Tracer Pro, when you shoot in 24 frames per second and try to export your tracers, it comes out really glitchy. I'm not sure why that happens. If anybody knows why that happens, and if I can shoot in 24 frames per second and not have it glitchy like that, then I'm going to go back to 24 frames per second. But since 30 and 60 frames per second is the only one that comes out smooth, I'm sticking to that for now. So
the lens that we use is the Tamron 17-70. Because the A6700 is crop censored, the lens is kind of like equivalent to like a 24/7, or no, 24-100 probably. It has a really good wide view, so if you need a really wide view, it's perfect. And then if you need to zoom in, it's perfect too. So to me, this has been a perfect lens and setup for as far as cameras go. I have my professional grade cameras I don't bring on the golf course just because it's way too important in case something happens. So this is a perfect little light camera that produces really good quality. So when it gets really hot or really bright outside, I use the ND filter, a variable ND filter. It's the Nisi 4-stop to 5 to 9-stop. I use the ND filter just because if it gets too bright and I don't want to change any of my settings, it's just easier to just put this on and then it'll darken the image so it won't be as bright in camera. And then on the golf carts, we use GoPros. We use the GoPro 7, we use the GoPro 9, and then we use the GoPro 13. I might be in the minority of this, but I prefer the GoPro 7 just because it's not as digitally sharpened, and I don't like that. I like the softer look and then sharpen what I want in post in editing. Yeah, but they both work. They're fine. All three of them have their own benefits. I will say overall quality is probably the 13 is probably the best quality. It can go up to like, I think 5 or 8K. We don't need that, we only need 4K. So like if you are looking for a GoPro that you don't have to spend a ton of money on, the GoPro 7 is perfect because it still has hyper stabilization. So when it's in the golf cart, it won't shake too much. And it shoots in 4K. And like I said, it's not overly digitally sharpened. So I actually like that cinematic soft look. So up to you, but yeah, you don't need the latest and greatest to shoot golf content. Also, we attached this clamp that we got from Amazon. I'm not sure, it's from Ulanzi. I didn't realize this, but we use a lot of Ulanzi stuff. But Ulanzi clamps, so you can screw your mount, your GoPro mount onto the top, and then we clamp this onto one of the bars. We used the suction before and it just kept falling off. We just kept on having issues with it. So we switched to this and we've never had any issues. Like this has been a lifesaver. Like you set it and go and just leave it. Another thing that we use from Ulanzi, we're not sponsored by Ulanzi, by the way. We just happen to have a bunch of this stuff. So one of the problems that we were having early on with the A6700 was, especially shooting at 60 frames per second, your camera's gonna heat up. So what I invested in is this cooler fan. It's from Ulanzi. You stick it on here like this, and you turn it on, and it cools your camera. And so this will keep your camera from overheating, especially when it comes to the hotter weather, like summer. It gets really cool really quickly. Like it's too cold to touch sometimes. But yeah, it's been a lifesaver. And then with the GoPro setup, we attach this into the cart. We plug it into a portable charger so there's no battery in here. We just plug it in to here and it's never lost power. So we just kind of set it and leave it. We put in a 256 gig SD card, mini SD card in here. We plug it in, we set it up in the beginning of the round, press record, and we just keep it plugging. We just keep it recording the entire time. It's never run out of memory, it's never run out of battery. So it's just one of those things, you just set it and leave it. And so we usually have 2 or 3 GoPros on the camera, on the golf cart. We have one that's shooting at us while we're driving, and then we'll have 1 or 2 shooting outward, just in case everything is covered. Another option you could do, we haven't explored it because we just haven't done it yet, but you could use a 360 camera. I've never used this 360 camera before, so it might be something we could look into later on. And then as far as the tripod goes for this camera, I use a light stand that I converted into a tripod, just because tripods can get heavy, tripods can get too clunky. So this light stand is actually, is this Ulanzi too? It's Ulanzi, but it's super light. You can make it as tall as you want. It's really easy to maneuver, but yeah, so it's just, you can make it even more stable. So like say that it's really windy that day, you can make the legs kind of spread out, pause, like that, flatten out, so it's a little bit more stable. And then I attached this kind of tripod head on top. And yeah, it just kind of fits. I mean, this is light enough to where this tripod head will hold it up. When you have like a longer lens, or if you have like a heavier camera setup, you might need to get like a bigger tripod head that's more stable, but this has been perfect for us. So this tripod / light stand is light. It goes as tall as I want, and it's not a huge burden to lug around. So it's been good. And then I fit all of this into this bag. I've had this bag for a while. It's a low pro bag. It doesn't have to be big. I even have smaller bags that can fit everything, but I just happen to use this one. All of this fits in here, and it fits in the golf cart, like that little pack in the golf cart. And the cool thing about this bag is it kind of has a slot so you can put your tripod in it. Like that. And we're good to go. Some of the software that I use for editing is I use the Shot Tracer Pro app for iMac, or I think you can use it on any computer, but I edit on an iMac, and then I do all the tracing manually just because it has a lot of trouble doing or tracing your ball accurately on its own. So I usually just try to trace it myself. But even then, sometimes it doesn't do it as accurately. So if you see like my tracer, like you'll see the tracer and the ball's like right next to it. I did the best I could. After that, I'll sync all of my footage into the software called Syncalia. Syncalia will get all your cameras and then all your audio, and it'll sync it all up into one. So it's all synced. And then I will edit the whole video on Premiere Pro. One thing I should mention when I'm doing audio is I don't plug in the receiver into my camera. I know it's probably easier for some people when you just kind of plug this in to your camera and the audio is automatically synced to your camera footage. My issue has been that sometimes when you get too far away from this, it'll cut out or it'll get staticky. So you have the option of recording on here internally, so it has a separate audio file and it won't get staticky, it won't cut out on you. So I use that and then I just sync it all up in Syncalia. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the process. If you guys have any other questions, hit us up on Instagram or YouTube. I know some people will get a little sticky about sharing information on how they shoot and stuff like that. I don't. I like to learn if there's better ways to shoot or easier ways to shoot. I think YouTube is so big that if we have more golf content, even better. So if you guys want to learn how to shoot the way we shoot, or if you have any questions on other equipment, just let me know. I'd be gladly to share any information I have. So, see you guys next time.